Alright, here's my top games of the year. Top 15 games of 2017. Okay, how are we doing in chat? We're moving on to my top games. Starting at number 15. Woo! I haven't lost my voice yet. Number 15. Okay, what should I say about this? You know, let me just, before we do this list, there's going to be a game on this list where people may completely disregard my opinion forever. They may just like, I might just be like, people might rage quit this stream with this game I'm going to put on my top 15 list. But hear me out, okay? Before you do, hear me out. Okay? Okay. Just keep that in mind when I get to it. It's actually pretty high on my list, and it was... I've seen no positive things about this game. So, don't rage quit, don't hate me. Listen, we all have our own opinions. That's the wondrous way of the world. I have plenty of friends, I know plenty of people, I know plenty of YouTubers I disagree with, but I still like their content, I still like watching them, I still like being friends with them. So you don't have to agree with everything with people, that would be boring. Having disagreements is always a good thing. It brings flavor and character. Okay, please keep that in mind. It's not my 15th, by the way, I'll let you know when that game comes. But my number 15 is going to be a game that I think some of the criticism was deserved, but Wolfenstein 2. Wolfenstein 2? Did I spell it right? New Colossus. The thing that I don't get about this is most of the criticism was that the complaints were about the gameplay. What? The gameplay in this game is so fun. It's just like the first one, which everyone praised. So I'm very confused on the criticism in that regard. Most people say, just put it on easy, play it, the story's good. The gameplay's bad. That's what I heard all the time with this game, and I don't get that. I don't get it. I love the gameplay. Like sneaking around a corner and popping someone in the head and they're dead. It's so sad. It's just so satisfying. And then the attachments you can get later on in the game that give you like a charge ability. You can run over people as you run at them. It's so fun. I enjoyed it. I really did. It's too short, which is an obviously complaint. And the way they made the game long are these stupid side quests that you just replayed old levels. So criticism deserved in that regard. Very short game. Story is good though. Like, I loved the story in this. Like, at the very start, your mouth's just, like, hanging open as you're watching this scene unfold. I'm not gonna spoil it, but my lord, it's so, like, you're just, like, on the edge of your freaking seat, clutching your armchairs. Like, holy crap. How are we getting out of this? What's gonna happen next? Holy frick, this character, this situation. Story is great. There's a really stupid scene at the end. I'm not going to spoil that either, but good lord. You know what scene. Like, if you play this, you know what scene. It's really dumb. But, like, I enjoy the game. Story is good. Some deserved criticism. But, let's just get out of the way. The first one is better. The first Wolfenstein is better. But this game's still fun. Still fun. Gameplay's the same. So, I'm very confused about the, criticism in that regard. Alright, let's go on to number 14. Not many people played this. Holy crap. It's because I'm an old-timer, and I love, love, love the original game. River City Ransom. Underground. Okay, so. This was a Kickstarted game forever. It was in Kickstarter hell. And you know what? The end product was amazing, so I'm fine with how long it took them. Like, there are so many characters you can choose in this game with, like fighting system-esque, in-depth battle system for each character with their own moves, their own specials. This game was freaking fun, man. There's dojos you can go to, learn different moves. And if you don't know what this is, it's like... Gosh, River City Ransom is such a classic, you guys. It was like an open world game on the NES. Where you're wandering around a city, beating up gangs, going into stores and shops, slowly increasing your stats, like buying, oh, I want these shoes. This will make you run faster. I'll read this book. It'll make my punch stronger. And this game does that and just expands upon it with tons of new characters that you can choose from. On the fly, might I add. You can just select any character you want on the fly. It's so fun. It's just simple video game fun. My gosh, beat 'em ups. I love beat 'em ups. And when they're this in depth, you should watch the combo videos for this gosh dang game. Watch some River City Ransom Underground combo videos. It gets insane with some of the combos you can just pull off with the characters. Just very in-depth fighting system for a beat 'em up. Because beat 'em ups are usually very simplistic, but good lord, it gets in depth. And all the level ups you can do, like just the little silly things, the hidden shops, the graphics style. It is such it's such a good game. This might even be higher on my list if I were to think more on this, because I love this video game. It's probably cheap on Steam. Gosh dang it, please consider getting it. And if not, try the NES game. Just get an emulator and a ROM and play River City Ransom on the NES emulator. It's so fun! To this day, that is one of the funnest NES games to date. Oh! Let's go on to number 13 before I lose my mind. Oh my goodness. Alright, this would be like so much higher on my list if I'd beaten it. Yakuza 0. This would be probably my top 3 or 5 if I played more into it. I have probably 25 hours logged. I just got to Majima, playing as Majima. This is like most people's entry to this series, which is crazy to me because I've played like 1 to 5 so far. And, but yeah. So, good lord, this is a great start, guys. Yakuza 0, if you've not played the series, play it. Please play it. Please give it a try. Please. This is one of the best games. This is one of the best game series of all time. And it really is. And I can't... I suck at explaining things, but good lord, this is such a fun game. What can I even compare it to? People are always like, oh, it's like GTA. No, it's nothing like GTA. It's just this big world that you explore. A giant Japanese city that you can explore. Almost... there's hundreds of shops you can go into. In fact, this is very similar to River City Ransom, just in 3D-esque form, you know? Except, the most important thing is the story is just insane. In the Yakuza games, the stories are just crazy. So many characters, so much depth and history and stories. And Yakuza 0 is a good start because it's the origin story to everybody. So, gosh. The fighting's amazing. I love Kiryu. He's one of my favorite characters of all time. Majima's fantastic. The world, the combat, the mini... Can I even say the mini games? Like, good lord, this game... You can go into an arcade and play actual old Sega games. Like, Hang On. Or, my brain just died. Hang On, all these classic old Sega arcade games. Please remind me of some games from the arcade, chat. Good lord, my stupid brain. Hang On. That one driving game. The one space shooter game. The shooty one. Gosh, some very classic Sega games. You can go in and just play these actual games. Full-on real games. It even has Virtual Fighter. You can play Virtual Fighter. And then there's pool. There's bowling. I couldn't even begin to list the mini games in this game. There are too many. Pool, bowling, racing, cars, sex hotline, phone sex hotline minigame, karaoke, dancing, fighting, betting on fighting bikini-clad women. There's porn videos you can watch to level up your stats. It's like not porn though. It's just like silly things. It's, good lord. You guys are saying Crazy Taxi and Mario. Good guys. I know. Space Harrier! Thank you, Arvidus. Space Harrier is one of the arcade games. To put my thoughts together and explain this game would take an hour in itself. The Yakuza games are just phenomenal. I wish I was better at explaining things, because good lord, it's such a good game. Just look at some reviews or YouTube videos just to get the idea. I know you'll like it. You'll like it. How could you not like this game? It's so good. So Yakuza 0 is definitely my top, or on my number 13, and like I said, it would be my higher up if I actually put more time into it. This game, endless content in these games. Gosh dang it. I really suck at explaining things, guys. Alright, number 12, I'm going to put Prey on my list. Not on many people's list. This game got kind of overlooked. I don't know, man. I don't know if the advertising was wrong. People got the wrong vibe for it or something. But this is a fantastic video game. Like, it heralds back to, like, System Shock 2 or BioShock. You come across a problem in this game, and you could solve this problem in, like, 10, 20 different ways. Because there's so many powers you can get in this game, and so different weapons. I've seen a clip of this. It's insane. Like, there's a locked booth, glass booth. You can't get inside with like a computer to unlock a door that you need to get to. Like, my initial thought is you can mimic, which you see an object like a paper cup, and you can become that paper cup and slide under the window of the booth, go inside of it, and then come human again. And then hit the button. I saw a clip of this. They had a little dart gun. They aimed in and shot at the computer. It hit the open button on the monitor and opens the door. Like, just so many different ways you can solve a problem in the game. The story's good. Like, the level design is just out of this world. You can go out in space and fly around the space station. There's zero-G moments, and it controls just great. The controls are great. The gunplay's good. The enemies are very threatening, and man, I would not even mind playing this game again. So I know people are like, wait, wasn't it called Prey 2, or was it just called Prey? I think that is the biggest issue with this game, is its identity. It's called Prey, and people are like, what? Prey? This is nothing like Prey. And that is the biggest issue. They should have named this... They could have named this anything other than Prey. It is just Prey. That is such a stupid name. That's where this game fell through, I think, is the name itself. The dumbest name. There's a game called Prey already, and you release another game called Prey that has nothing to do with the previous game. Plays nothing like it. Why did they name it Prey? And I do believe that's probably the biggest issue with this game, is the name. Because other than that, this is a great game. What? I'm just remembering. Did Deus Ex Mankind Divided come out this year? No, it came out last year, right? 2016. I was going to say, that's not on my list. That was last year. Yeah, Prey, dude. If you like BioShock, who doesn't like BioShock? Freaking System Shock. Very immersive simish. I love immersive sims, man. They're so good. Lots of loot to pick up. Lots of weapons to upgrade. The skill tree's insane. You can do tons of stuff in it. You can become whatever you want. Just, man, good game. That was a really good game and underrated. Very underrated. Alright, my number 11 game will be... The game came out in like 2007, but was re-released on Steam. Vanquish. So I got this on 360, and I never finished it because console aiming, 30 FPS, 720p. Combinate that, just a combination, just made the game... It was awesome. It was a spectacle, to be sure, but I just hate aiming on console controls, so I never beat it. So someone gifted to me on Steam, And you can play this game at like freaking 4K, 60 FPS with mouse and keyboard controls. I didn't like after playing it. It's like this is a completely different game from Vanquish. And I spelled it wrong. Vanquish. It's a completely different game from the console version. It really is. It's a freaking, what can I say? It's a freaking Clover game. Or no, what are they called now? Not Clover. There goes my brain again. Who built this? Who made this game? Metal Gear Rising developer. Who made it? They used to be Clover. I'm probably the only person that knows that. Why can't I think of the name? Platinum Games. Thank you. I'm glad I'm doing this live because I have the chat to correct me. Good lord. Platinum. Was it Platinum that made this at the time? Or was it Clover? I think it was Platinum. Anyway, regardless of that bullcrap, wasted like 5 minutes. Vanquish is such a good game. These guys, they rarely make bad games. They really do. And the gunplay is so good. I love, one of my favorite things to do in this game is slide at a guy with your jet. Like, slide on the ground at him. Here's a dude. You're sliding at him. You hit them, do a kick, and do a backflip. Enters bullet time, and you're shooting him in the head as you're doing a backflip over their head. Oh my gosh. The style that this game has is just like out of this world. The story's nothing to write home about, but who cares when the gameplay is such a spectacle? It is such a fun game, man. Very nice set pieces. Very nice bosses. It's too short. That's the thing about it. It's too short, but good lord, you can just jump right back in and replay that game on harder difficulties. It is such a fun game. If you haven't played Vanquish, it's probably cheap. Get it. Alright, number 10. What do we got here? This will probably be, again, this would probably be higher on my list if I had beaten it. But as of now, this is such a joy. Just joy. That's all you can say you got this game. It's just pure joy. Mario Odyssey. Did I spell right? I hate spelling Odyssey. I suck at spelling Odyssey. Mario 64 is one of my favorite games ever made. So obviously, I mean, it's not just me. Everybody's saying that's most people my age are like old timers saying, dude, Mario 64, that was the game. No game has come close to that. Oh, Galaxy sure came close, but it's no Mario 64, etc., etc. So Mario Odyssey is like, they knew what they were doing. They went for the Mario 64 audience with this game. And this game is just pure joy. Like, you play it and you're just smiling. Like, I have not gotten mad at this game. Oh, wait a minute, the stupid volleyball segment. No, anyway, let's not talk about the volleyball segment. This game is just pure joy in video game form. It's so fun. The visuals are so appealing and colorful. I love the water. I want to drink the water in this game. It looks so good. The whole Cappy thing of possessing characters, and you get a whole new moveset with each character you possess. Nintendo, how do you do this? How do you always do this? In like the PS2 Xbox phase, I was such a Nintendo hater. But I grew up on Nintendo, man. NES, grew up on that sucker. It raised me. Nintendo, Super Nintendo, N64, and then the GameCube is when I kind of fell off the Nintendo train. But I'm back on that Nintendo train with the Switch. Like, I've been out of it with GameCube, Wii, and Wii U. I've been, like, dipping my toe in the Nintendo stuff here and there, but I really haven't been playing anything Nintendo. But Switch, dude. Dude, they're on a roll. Let's just say that. And Mario Odyssey is one of the bigger reasons. This is such a good game, and it gives you the option to just, you can plow through the game, or you can spend 100 hours getting all the moons. It's crazy how, like, the levels, they seem small, but there's like a billion things to do in each level. It is Mario 64 reincarnated. Just, it really is, and it would be on my list higher, I'm sure, because apparently when you beat it, there's something that opens up for, like, nostalgia freaks like me that would be like, oh, so we'll see when I get there. But Mario Odyssey, dude, good game. Loving it. Number 9. We'll move on. Evil Within 2. So, let's think. I love the first game. I like the first game way more than most people. Like, that game got pretty panned and pretty criticized and pretty bashed. I loved that game. In fact, I hated the game, like everybody, when I first played it. And, like, a year later, I'm like, I'm going to give it another try. And then, for some weird reason, I fell in love with it and played it. Like, I beat it, played it on the harder difficulty, and then played it on the hardest difficulty. I played it, like, 3 times in a row. And I never do that with video games. Ever! So, Evil Within 1 is, like, one of my favorite games, dude. I love that game. So Evil Within 2, everyone claims is the better version. And it's, like, way better than the first one, etc., etc. And now here I am thinking and saying, I like the first one better. I do. But that does not stop Evil Within 2 from being a great game. I enjoyed it. I played the crap out of it until I beat it. I streamed it. Everyone watched. Great game. I really have very little complaints about it. I'm trying to think. No. Maybe it's a little too easy. And that's because I didn't play it on the hardest difficulty like an idiot. So that's my own fault. It's just such a fun game. It's like Resident Evil 4 gameplay. Open world-esque. The story was what always got me about the first one. That's what I hated about the first one at first. But then once you learn, actually, the story, it's like, this story's amazing. So the story, I think, fell really short with the second game. It really did. The story's not that good for 2, but it's still okay. The villains are really cool, interesting. Villains are really interesting. The enemy designs are just crazy cool. Like, props to the enemy designers. They're very creepy, crazy, grotesque looking things. So there's this one enemy I never even dared get near. I'd always just snipe it from a distance because it's so gross and freaky looking. It refines the gameplay of the first one for sure. And yeah, it does fall short with the story, but the visuals, it's visually great. Gameplay's great. I mean, what more to say? I really did enjoy Evil Within 2. Do enjoy the first one better, but not by much. It's not by a large margin. The second one's still good, and heck, I'll definitely play it on harder difficulty eventually. Alright, let's move on to number 8. Hey, another horror game. Resident Evil 7. Since this game came out at the start of the year, it's kind of not as fresh in my mind. If it came out more recently, it would probably be higher on my list. But the more I think about it, the more I remember enjoying the crap out of this game. I am so glad they rebooted, like, I wouldn't say reboot, just like, they just toned it back. It's so, when you take Resident Evil 6 and 7 in comparison, complete polar opposites in terms of what they are. Resident Evil 6 is this Michael Bay, dumb bullcrap explosionaire. And then Resident Evil is this just like slow, intimate, extreme claustrophobia. Like one little house, like 2 houses. Instead of a giant, no giant explosions. It's just very, it takes back to its roots. Which is what everybody likes about Resident Evil. The roots of it. So, Resident Evil 7... Dude, I just love this game. And I want to play in VR so bad, but I just don't, PSVR is really expensive, so I played it on PC. I will play this on VR one day. I'm not replaying this game until I have a VR, for sure. I would love to play this in VR. So, man, what more to say? I'll say this, the first bit of this is the best part of the game. With the house and the residents of the house. I think that's the best freaking part. And it's so... Oh my gosh, you just got a big dumb smile on your face as you're freaked out from the flippin', like, the dad. He was such a good villain. He's like freaking Terminator coming at you. Oh my gosh, I love this game. The more I think about it, geez, I just loved this game. There were parts of it that got kind of annoying, but the boss fights were so good. I love the residents of the house. I just really love that. It looked great. The atmosphere's great. Freaked me out a lot. Great gameplay. Man. I'm really looking forward to playing it again, for sure. For sure. I have not played the DLC or, yeah, anything like that, but... Good game. Let's move on to number 7. I'm going to type the game, and everyone's going to go, huh? What? Comment your huhs. Elix! It's a very under-the-radar game. Not many people know about. So, I'm sure many of you know of the game called Gothic 2. Or Gothic. Gothic 2 is praised extremely. I've never played Gothic 2. But it's extremely praised in terms of... Here's the thing. This company that makes these games, they're not a big team. They put their heart and souls into it, but... This game is janky to the max. You'll see glitches, you'll see jank. Like, female characters will stand there talking to you and their boobs are just going like this the whole time. Like, without fail. I don't think it's been fixed in a patch yet. Every female, their boobs are just going like this. Hello. How are you? Like, their boobs are just bouncing around. It's just a jank game. Graphic glitches, physics glitches, etc. But the combat is like bare bones. But this game shines so much in the exploration. Like, this game's on par with, like, Skyrim in terms of exploration, you guys. I put, geez, like 90 hours into this thing? 60, something like that. Just exploring this world. It is such a fun world to explore, and gosh, that's all that mattered to me. The story's not even anything to write home about. It's a pretty bare-bones, basic story. And you can do all these faction quests, which are actually funner than the main quest, but the exploration is just so fun. I loved it. I loved exploring this world. And bless them. They put their heart and souls into it. Jank be danged. If you can get past the jank, which I can. I love Witcher 1 for crying out loud. That's a jank game, but I loved it. And that's on my top. That's my number 7. Because just the enjoyment I got out of exploring that game just trumped everything above it. So let's go on to number 6. Oh no, this is the game. Oh no, you guys are going to hate me. Don't quit. Listen, let me explain first, please. Don't close, don't leave, don't unsub. Don't make angry tweets. Listen. 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 Okay, guys. Listen. Mass Effect Andromeda. Alright? Now let's see what the chat has to say about that. Now listen. Now listen, okay? Every bit of criticism this game gets... I'm not even gonna go that far. Okay. Like I said with Elix, I got past the jank, alright? I'm not even a Mass Effect fan. Listen, this is gonna piss even more people off. But I'm saying it. This is my favorite Mass Effect game. I like this more than 1, 2, and 3. I love this game. And listen. It is janky as frick. The story's dumb. But listen to this. The gameplay is the best gameplay in any Mass Effect ever. This has the best gameplay out of any Mass Effect game. I don't even care about anything else. If a game has great gameplay, I don't care about anything else. I had a good time laughing at how bad the character animations were. The dialogue. How stupid the dialogue was. I laughed my head off at how bad this was. The stupid animations, I laughed at the glitches. I had a good time laughing and making fun of this game. But the gameplay is so freaking fun. I played this game for 90 hours. Okay? I'd go into the world and do everything in the world. And just drive around, get out of my car. Listen, this is what I'd do. This was the funnest freaking thing. I'd see a group of enemies. I'd go like this at them. pull a group of enemies towards me. They'd be in my shield. I'd look over at another group of enemies, throw those guys in it. They all tumble into a heap. Then I'd do this super jump and then fist and just do this smash down and just do this like aerial smash on like 5 guys laying on the ground and just like crush them all. The gameplay is so fun. And then if my shield's running out, I had this flippin' attachment that would refill my shield immediately if I did a charge. So I'd look over at an enemy, do this charge where I go, teleport at him. Shield's instantly charged. I was a tank. I was a beast in this game. And it was so freaking fun. Just destroying armies of enemies. The best gameplay out of any Mass Effect. Fight me. Fight me in the streets. That's all that mattered to me was the gameplay. The worlds were fun to explore. The visuals were good. I have tons of screenshots from this game. The characters were horrendous looking. The environment was good looking. I don't know how they got away with how bad this game looked in terms of... Mass Effect is always about the story and characters. And that was like their least concern when they made this game. Like they were doll... Their faces looked like dolls. The textures were bad. The mouth movement was awful. Their movement was just jank as frick. And you know what? Listen to me. From day one, I said this. BioWare is awful at motion capture. BioWare is awful at quality control. I have always said this. BioWare has always been bad at this. Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3, they're all jank in that way as well. Andromeda's worse. Don't get me wrong, it's way worse. But they've always been bad at this. It's like Bethesda. People just look past how bad Bethesda, like Skyrim, Fallout, the glitch fest that they are. People always just look past that. And I never did with Bethesda or BioWare. I've always criticized them for this. So I already had the criticism in mind when I played Andromeda. So I went into Andromeda with no, like, the lowest of expectations. I'm not even a big Mass Effect fan. I liked 1 and 2. Listen to me. After I beat Andromeda, you know what I did? I went back and played through Mass Effect 3 because I'd never done it before. Right after I finished Andromeda, I went through and I'm like, dude, I want to play Mass Effect 3, so I did that. Mass Effect Andromeda has the best gameplay out of any Mass Effect game. It's the best in terms of that. Everything else can piss off. I don't care. I enjoyed just destroying enemies in this game with the powers that you have. I love tweaking my armor. Like that flipping aerial attack, I put like an item on my armor to give me that attack so I could do an aerial, do the super jump into the air and then just like crush down my fist. So fun. So fun. So, that's my defense of Andromeda, okay? I agree about everything. The game was jank, the game looked awful, the characters looked bad, the environments were great, the exploration was fun, and the gameplay was fun. That's all I cared about. And I laughed along with everybody else at all the bad animations. I have tweeted out me reacting to how bad the character is. Like, my character looks up at this ship and smiles, and I just burst out laughing at how bad it looks. There's not, like, one cutscene in that game that didn't bring out a chuckle in me because of how bad it looked, and how badly animated or motion capped or scripted it was. Like, I don't even care about, like, the story was okay, but it was just the gameplay. Alright, I'm done. I'm done defending myself. There you have it. Alright. Now that we're out of that and I've lost all my viewers, let's move on to number 5. We're in the top 5. Okay, number 5. I haven't even beat this yet, but good lord, I don't care. Holy crap, I couldn't even tell you how many hours into it. I got it on PS4, didn't beat it. Then it came out on PC, and it's so much better. Nioh! Nioh's so good. Guys. Yes, it's very Dark Souls clone-esque. Like almost to a T, it's like Dark Souls. Except the gameplay is so much more refined than Dark Souls. Every freaking weapon has a specific moveset. You can unlock specific moves. You can customize what move you want to do with that specific button press. It's like Ninja Gaiden mixed with Dark Souls, mixed with Onimusha. Good lord, this is a good game, alright? People are writing this off a lot. I mean, it was praised a lot at the time, but then people just kind of forgot about it. It is so fun. The DLC weapons are even better. Like the tonfas. Gosh dang it, the tonfas are fun. I think the biggest problem with it is the story is nothing to write home about. It really isn't. But the gameplay, like, that's how I am. Gameplay over everything in video games. If the gameplay grabs me like that, then I don't care. I really don't. It does help, don't get me wrong, it does help, but I don't care about anything else if the gameplay is top notch. So, Nioh is so good. It looks good. It doesn't look phenomenal. It looks graphically okay. Enemy variety is a valid complaint. The enemy variety, there's only like 5 enemies in this game, but I don't know. It's just really good. The bosses, it's just like Dark Souls, you know? You keep going to see what that next boss is going to be, and that's how Nioh is. And it's hard as frick. I'm enjoying the difficulty, the sense of pride and accomplishment when I beat a boss. So fun. So satisfying. Really enjoying it, and I'm still regularly streaming this game to this day. It's a really long game, I might add. Okay, let's move on to number 4. Number 4. This game, I praised the crap out of it already, but we'll do it again. Cuphead. So, Cuphead. Gosh, what did I say? I'm blown away by this game. It is a timeless video game. Like I was saying. This game will not age. This game will be timeless. How? I can't even imagine the work they put into this. Like, gosh dang it. You gotta clap. You gotta applaud these guys. It is a straight up 30s cartoon brought to life in video game form. And that wouldn't even matter if the gameplay wasn't good. But the gameplay is so good! Tight controls! And the difficulty! Oh my gosh, it's just like an old school video game. It's just like an old school, like Ninja Gaiden. Like old school, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game. It's super hard. But you learn the patterns, and you adapt. You get better and better, slowly, progressively, until you beat that boss. It brought me back to the NES days, honestly. Like the old school, hard, learning a pattern, Contra-esque difficulty. Love this game. The bosses were so creative, the animations is such a spectacle. Oh my gosh, I loved it. It's hard to even play this game because you just want to watch it. This game's almost as fun to watch as it is to play. Oh, great game. I'm so happy that this is a video game and that it came out. I'm so happy. And good lord, it did so well. May we get a sequel, please? Oh, that'd be awesome. Alright, let's move on to number 3. Number 3, we're in the top 3! Alright, so I think I started this game whenever it came out, and I kind of just like abandoned it for a while. I don't know why, but good lord, like throughout the year, I just kept seeing like threads and comments and forums or tweets, everybody just praising it and praising it and praising it and praising it and praising it, and I'm like, I need to get back to that. It's a good game, why not? So a few weeks ago, I get back to this game, and I just went full on and played it until I beat it. It is such a good game, you guys. Hollow Knight. I almost put this at like number 1 or 2. This is the best Metroidvania game since Symphony of the Night. No argument. I mean, people could argue it, but to me, there's no argument. This is like one of the best games of its genre. It is on par with Symphony of the Night. Castlevania Symphony of the Night. It really is. Symphony of the Night is like one of my favorite games ever made. Not to mention the genre that it's in. In fact, Symphony of the Night invented the Metroidvania genre. The Vania came from Symphony of the Night. That's where this genre name came from. And oh my gosh, you guys. The music, the visuals, the gameplay, the freaking the level design, the slow progression of getting more items and just progressing, the boss fights. This is like, it's like I don't want to say it because I'm sick of the comparisons, but the story is like so complex and like hidden, and it's like Dark Souls. I'm saying it. It's like Dark Souls in terms of like the complexity of the story. You slowly unraveling this just a crazy story, and the boss fights are such a spectacle, hard thing. Oh my gosh, I love this video game. Oh my gosh, this seriously could be my number 2 or 1. Like I can't even handle it. There's like, and then the DLC optional boss that I fought is so satisfying and good to learn. I spent 5 hours grinding this dude until I beat him. So satisfying beating this sucker. And then there was that other optional freaking DLC area, the Path of Pain, that I uploaded a video to it. If you've seen it, I spent like 3 hours trying it, and then I failed it, but that was it was all me. I didn't have to do it. It was like, think Super Meat Boy with no saving, and then when you die at the end, you have to start over, because that's what happened to me. Yeah. Listen up. We won't discuss the Path of Pain. But, geez, dude, 100%ing, I almost 100%. I think I missed, like, a few things, but I have not gone so hard in a game like this until, like, I have not done that since Symphony of the Night. Like, good lord, that was a joy to explore and overcome. Gosh, please get this game if you have any interest in the Castlevania or Metroid-esque gameplay style. Please do. Jeez. The music. Gosh, it's my soundtrack of the year for sure. Alright, let's move on to number 2. Whew! Alright. Number 2. This was another game that came out at the beginning of the year as well, didn't it? So, you know, it's a new IP. Came out of nowhere. Well, it didn't come out of nowhere. I saw it at E3 however many years ago, and I was like, dude, I'm so in with this game. And, yeah. It's one of the reasons I got a PS4. It really is. So, without further ado, Horizon Zero Dawn. I mean, I'm a sucker for open world games, I really am, but they did this so well, they did this so right. The map's not cluttered with a billion icons, but even though it wasn't, I still went and explored, like, very detailed, all the world of this game. It's such a very, it is like, in terms of like put together game, it's a 10 out of 10. Best game of the year in terms of that. This game was put together so well. The structure, the characters, the story, the gameplay, the performance, the graphics, the flipping, jeez, oh frick. It is such a good game. It raises the bar on terms of quality and what you should do for a open world game. I was streaming this at the start when I was playing it. If people were around for that stream, I was so into the story at the start. Like, there's this plot twist that happens, and I'm like, holy frick! I even compared it to, like, Game of Thrones or something. Like, this story is like Game of Thrones right now. Holy frick, I cannot wait to see the story. What's going on? What is this? Holy crap. And that is the best part about this game, is the unraveling the story. It is so good! The visuals, like I said, I take like billions of screenshots. The character is very likable, your main character. Facial animations are jank. I'm not denying that at all. It can look good at times, but it's jank in a lot of the times. And the gameplay is so fun. It gives you so many options to approach any situation. And I love that in video games. I love the choice, the option of choice. And, oh my gosh, just taking down enemies. The T-Rexes were such a joy to take down. It's like, yes, afterwards you're like, oh, breathing hard, like I just took down that sucker. Dude! I really want to play the DLC, like, and I actually just want to replay that whole game again. It is such a good game, and the sequel is going to be so good. I can't wait for the sequel. So yeah, please calm me down. Horizon Zero Dawn, number 2. Aloy. Great character. man, I want to reiterate the story. Because I do not get into story that much in video games. They're kind of like a side thing. Sometimes it's like, ooh, interesting, what's going on? But this game, I was so into the story. I was so into this story. It was like watching, just like Game of Thrones, like seriously. The story is just like, oh my gosh, what is going on? I want to unravel this. I want to read I don't do this in games. I want to read every line of text. I want to read every log. What is going on? Where are we? Why is this happening? And it just led me towards the ending, and I just ate it all up. The story was so good. And like I said, it performed so well. Solid 30. No frame drops in this game. Whew. Okay. Good game. Hey, guess what time it is? We're like an hour and 20-something minutes in. We're on to number 1, and I'm sure it's not going to be a surprise. Everyone's going to know what it is. Like, obviously, right? Like, you can look at the list and be like, oh, duh, that's what it is. I'm sorry. It's not shocking. It's not out of this world. It's not very contrarian. It's everybody's doing this. 90%, 99% of what people are saying, I'm going to say it too. Legend of Zelda. Breath of the Wild. Sorry. It's just because it's that good of a game. Like I said, Nintendo, what are you doing? How are you doing this? You're so on point. Dude, I put this game off. I was like, it looks good. I'll get around to it. And then when I finally got to it, I couldn't stop. Like, it's like I said, story, exploration and gameplay, this nailed every bit of it and fed every bit of my actual, like, desires in a video game. The flippin' map was, like, no icons at all, and yet there was something around every freaking corner to find in this game. And I am obsessed with exploration in open world games. Obsessed! I loved this game so much, and the wonder and, like, mystery that it gave me in this game. I tweeted it out when it happened. I didn't want to spoil it at the time. I guess I can at the time, right now, but I was, like, wandering around, and I look up in the sky, and I'm like, this was very early on, I'd never seen it. Just this giant freaking dragon just flying through the sky. And I'm like, what the frick is that? I just stood for like 30 minutes watching this thing moving around Lake Hylia. And I'm like, what is it? What is this thing? Is it like a boss? The frick is it? And it goes up in the air and a portal appears and it goes through the portal and disappears. It goes underwater in Lake Hylia. It goes under the water and I'm just like, oh, I'm just staring at this thing. The wonder and mystery of this game was so contagious. I could not stop exploring and discovering the new things in this game. And I do like the way, I'm kind of okay with the way the story went. A lot of people are like, the story was like very side. And I'm okay with how you just discovered the story at your own leisure, how you wanted. Like you went and looked through like memories or whatever. So it was very minimal story-wise. I was very okay with it, to be honest. Just exploring the castle, exploring anything in this game was a joy. There's a lot of criticisms with this game that I will agree with, but when I think back when I played it and how I felt, like, it is my number one of the year because of that reason. What it gave me was just nothing that any game gave me this year. And that is my number one for sure. My biggest criticism would be the weapon degradation for sure. That got really freaking annoying. But and graphics be dang. That game looks so good. Sure, the textures are pretty bad, but when you combine the art style, the scenery, the architecture, when you combine the art style and just the way the game looks, It does not matter how bad the textures are. It will look good, and they nailed it. This game looks good. But while the textures are bad, this game looks good. And I took many screenshots from this game because of it. Very colorful. Like I said, the textures are bad, but it didn't matter. When the art style and the design and the architecture, everything fit together to make it look fantastic. Gameplay was fun. I really liked the combat. Just, dude, I loved this game. I'm sorry. It's nothing new. It's like everybody else is naming this their number one, so it's nothing new. But I can't argue with this. It was my number one. So yeah, aesthetic style. There you go. That's the word I was looking for. Aesthetic. It really was the aesthetic. So, good lord, that was my top games of the year. Yeah. Agree, disagree, whatever. It's my list. Appreciate you listening to my opinion. Yeah. So thank you guys for watching, and I'm sorry if I pissed you off with that Andromeda rant, but it's my list. Let me know what your number one is, huh? Thanks for watching, guys.